Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, with our title clerk, Miss Chrissy. And if you remember months ago, those of you who've been with us for a while, unfortunately Miss Chrissy was diagnosed with some scary breast cancer news. Thankfully, through the support of folks like yourselves, both the financial offerings that folks were willing to donate, which God bless you for that, and not to mention just the emotional support, which I believe Chrissy can probably verify more than I could how much that meant to her. She's with us here today, and we're about to celebrate a Merry Christmas with Chrissy, and I think it's awesome. What I think is unfair is that she already has more hair than me already, and that's just become a fun little joke between us. At first it was like a little bit close, and then after like a week, it's like, all right, now you're just rubbing it in. So anyway, a lot of people have asked, hey, how's Chrissy doing? And I didn't want to slather too much of her personal business around. I wanted to give Chrissy the opportunity to share her own story in her own time. And there are some things I think some people who, maybe you know someone, maybe you are someone who is or might, you think, maybe be going through a similar situation. And sometimes I think that there's power in just knowing that you're not alone. So Chrissy's not usually on camera like this, and she goes, oh, I'm awkward, I don't know what to do. So I'm going to kind of throw her some slow pitches here. And I'm not like the Sunday infomercial guy, so I'm not really good at this part either. But long story short, one of the things that you and I were talking about was that you waited a little bit to seek treatment, but then you had an experience from there, and I think that'd be a good thing to share with everybody.
Yes, I did find a lump in my left breast, and I waited quite some time to go into the doctor. Part of it was fear, part of it was, oh, you know, they say most of the time it's nothing, trying to talk myself out of the thought that it could be cancer. And so I did finally seek attention when the lump was visible. I should have gone in quite a bit sooner than that. And I want to raise awareness that if you feel like something is wrong, seek immediate attention. Immediate attention is something that I can't stress enough, because if I had gone in sooner, I may not have had to go through the chemo and the radiation and the severity of what I went through. Also, I want to bring up that if you see a doctor and they tell you that it's nothing and you're not quite comfortable with that, then you need to go in and you need to get a second opinion.
That's something, my mother's a medical professional, and that's something that she always instilled in me, and I've seen other people live by the mantra of you need to be your own advocate. You have to be willing to fight for yourself. I don't come from a background of medicine. I come from a background of keyboard and mice. But I can imagine that you see a lot of things, and in the era of WebMD self-diagnosis, as a medical professional, I can imagine how it could be potentially easy to roll your eyes, discount, discredit something. I'm not saying that's anyone's job. I'm not defending. I'm saying that I maybe understand potentially how that gets to that stage, and how me, Chrissy, you need to fight for yourself, and you need to raise your voice a little bit. You know, I'm not saying you have to go in guns blazing first, but like she said, if you hear something and you go, I don't believe that makes sense, explain it in any word you can, even if it's just like stream of consciousness. Just start thinking, start saying as things like, I felt this, I feel this, I'm afraid of this. Get those things out there. You have to have an open dialogue. It cannot be a one-way conversation. And if you feel that's the case, like she said, seek alternative treatment. Maybe someone else, different facility, something. And always be your own advocate there. Pardon me. One of the other things I think is a bit of an unspoken thing here, and there's one other thing I'd like Chrissy to share, is that, as I mentioned earlier, there were a lot of people who were very generous with financial offerings, but there were a lot of people who just simply said, I can't do that, but I'm here to support you. There were people that wrote Chrissy letters here that she got, and just, I can see you reading your face. That meant a lot. And I think people need to realize that everyone wants to help everyone. I think they just don't always know how. And sometimes, even if it's just saying, talk to me if you can. Now, here's something I noticed about Chrissy. She worked through her treatments here, and we told her constantly, take the day off, take the week off, take some time off. We'll cover you, we'll do whatever we have to do. And she refused as much as she possibly could. And the one that made me laugh was she had a negative reaction to one of her treatments that basically caused effectively blistering on your feet.
Yeah.
And she was hobbling around the floor handing out paperwork. And you're sitting there going, what do I do here? Do I try to go take the work from her and do it for her? And if you do that, she would slap you, literally. And she would say, I don't need that. I need to get up and move. I need to have a regular life. And that's something that I want, the message I want to get across is, if you know someone who's going through any sort of trauma, experience, treatment, you know, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a medical battle, something like this, I think one of the most valuable things that we ever did for Chrissy was just treat her like Chrissy, who we always knew. And I don't think you need to necessarily treat this like this is a special person now. Offer assistance, but don't make a big issue out of it, you know. Everyone's like, well, I don't want to remind them of this thing they're going through. Do you honestly think there's any way you could remind that person of what they're experiencing every day? I think it means more to them just to know that you're aware, you care. But it's just Chrissy, and I'm just Josh. And I'd see it in the window all the time as I'd walk by your office, and I'd want to say, God, I'm so sorry, or this or that. And not that we didn't have some of those conversations, but I would always just try to just crack a joke, or just something normal. A little, I think normalcy has a little bit of a healing effect too. So, I know I've done a lot of talking here, and it's Chrissy's story, but again, she's not real sure there. But be your own advocate, seek that treatment, seek assistance, don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a big community out there, and I don't know if you saw some of the response to like the videos or the funding request, the GoFundMe that was out there. The response from people was absolutely fantastic, and I think that there's a lot of people you don't even know, who are willing to and want to help. They just need to know how they can help. Give people that opportunity, and they'll be there for you. And who knows, maybe in the future you'll be able to repay that back for someone else. So.
Yes, I would like to say as well, I do appreciate all the support I've had. I've had support from family, friends, my work family. People that I didn't know have reached out to me from the YouTube video and have helped financially and have been supportive and still communicate with me to see how I'm doing. And I did want to let everybody know I did go through the full process of chemo, and I had a double mastectomy, and I went through radiation, and I'm doing well, and I have one more surgery to go through, but overall I've beat cancer. And if anybody's going through it, it is beatable, and you can return to a normal life again. Okay. I've tried personally to keep as much of a normal life as possible while I was going through the process, but I couldn't have done it without the support of my work family and everybody's support, as strong of a person as I was. And I just want everybody to know that I appreciate every single thing, whether it's a comment, a card. I've received several cards as well. And thank you, and this holiday season, enjoy your families and enjoy life with them, because it is precious.
So, from all of us to all of you, take care, stay safe, have fun, and hug your kids, everyone. Have a great holiday season.